Hey, chatters, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Brendan, and today on Dev Chatter, we're going to be taking a look at some more of our Interactive 7 code. We were working on this last time, and I want to continue with this, get us a little bit further along than where we were, and um, then I want to jump into some other projects. Today is going to be a slightly shorter than normal stream, as I am starting quite late. I apologize for that. Normally on Thursdays, well, at least when I'm sticking, like if I'm going with the old schedule from back in the day, I try to start us around noon. But today that wasn't going to happen. I got my COVID shot yesterday and was out with a headache and slept for a couple of hours in the middle of the day today, so I'm a little bit behind. But anyway, let's talk about project. So, Interactive 7. That is what we call this. Well, that maybe? The game that you see on the screen, that's Final Fantasy 7. This is an old game from the 90s. Fantastic game. I mean, popular enough that it got a very hyped and popular remake from the company that made the original game, and well, we built a bunch of stuff. I will go ahead and run the code just so we can see it, and then we're going to get started diving into this. I don't want to take too much time in the intro to get started with this. I usually spend a little bit of time while people are getting in here. Today what I did was during our intro, I got a couple of things prepped. And then right as I was about to get started, it was like, oh yeah, time for the ad break. I was like, maybe I shouldn't like say 5 things and then go to an ad break. So I waited for that to finish, and now we're getting started. So if you are wondering about the ad breaks, I'm not a big fan of the ads, but the only way to get rid of people having the ad when they join the stream is to have ads at the beginning, and so we're kind of stuck with that. Um, Ooh, an exception. What happened? Where are we? In the runner? Unable to resolve type. Huh. I thought we fixed all the issues last time. I guess we're starting off fixing issues. Thanks, Strife. Let me just have a sip of this drink. All right. Now, the funny thing is, a lot of people that aren't out of the gaming community do laugh that there are redeems for things like hydrate. But they are actually a really good reminder. As someone that used to stream regularly, even though my streams were, fairly short, I can tell you that when you just kind of get focused, you don't even realize you're going for, hours, and you're like, ooh, I didn't drink much during that time. Now I'm really parched because I was talking the whole way. It happens. Okay, so we have a type that didn't resolve. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and continue, let it crash, and we're going to start it again. Now, I clicked the button like 3 times because I was being dumb. The program came up and I was like, yeah, click, 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 which was definitely a mistake. Okay, so pops up this. What is the exception we're running into? Oh, we're still running into the stupid thing with the hub context. So I think the reason we're running into this is because they changed something in the version of .NET that we upgraded to, and so I think that's what's getting us here. Let me go ahead and check real fast, just to make sure that we are up to date. Latest on, where is this? Interactive 7. There we go. And make sure I've got the latest on the code. So we are in the I9 start 2 branch. So I think this is where I was working on trying to get us running on. So this is where we're changing up how things work. So instead of just loading Interactive 7, we're going to allow it to open up Interactive 7, Interactive 8, Interactive 9, and be able to run for one of the, the old PlayStation games. So these are the 3 Final Fantasies that were released on PlayStation. Not PlayStation 2, which had, Final Fantasy 10, 12. We skipped the MMOs. They're fantastic games, but I usually don't include them in the main line because, well, it's single player games versus multiplayer games, and so like I separate them. That's two separate branches. I wish they hadn't numbered them. I wish they'd done like Final Fantasy Online 1 and 2 had been the names of those, because that's what they are. They're the online game. They can be great Final Fantasy games, but they are the online ones. So there should be a distinction so that you don't have to explain to people like, oh yeah, that's the online one. That's totally different thing. Okay, so it doesn't like that. Now why? Why did it not? So it's when it goes to get the data for that for some reason. Let me make sure that it ran the registrar. So the registrar, if you're not familiar with it, okay, it runs it. I was going to say, this wires up all of the service dependencies that we should have in here. And then if I go all the way down to the bottom, in theory, it should have wired up everything to be able to do this. What version of Signal are we running? That would be a good question. I don't have ReSharper installed. Alright, hang on. Oh, it's not in here. It is in the web project. Did it wire up anything in the web project? That's the question. Did it get these? So this is a Net6 project, and it should, I thought, have a dependency on that. Maybe it's just in here automatically? Is it auto magic? Well, this is mine. Interwebs, I've got questions for you. I need to ask you a question, Internet. I'm using a strongly typed hub context, an I hub context of T hub T, where the T hub is a hub of T, and where T is a class. Yeah. I hub context of status hub that. Yeah, that's what I built. That's what we're using. A content. Yeah, that's it. Yep. And it does not finding this for me. Why is it not finding that for me? It is that one it's not getting, right? It's the iHub context. Let me rerun it real quick. Just make sure that's the one that's failing. When I click this, it should attempt to create one of those. Wait, why is it coming through here again? Why is it going through the registrar again? I think I'm doing something weird. That's the only explanation for this. Error loading application exception. Blah, 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 blah. What is the exception? It is the iHub context of that. So yes, it is not able to resolve that. Where's my stack trace? At what point did that happen? So we start the runner on line 48. So it's in here, start the runner, line 48, get the data loader. And the data loader is what is supposed to read FF7 and grab that. And I bet it's something like the main window view model that is failing. But this is the runner. So it's getting one of these, and it goes to create it. And what is failing? Is it the chatbot that has it? We go to the implementation of the chatbot, which thing has it? All right, let's work the other way. Who gets one of these? Yeah, I know a whole bunch of them do. The monitor gets one. This This is basically the piece of code that allows stuff to report back status updates. So everything's supposed to just get one of these. So that, well, there is only one, because I'm passing it to everything. And it's just supposed to be able to give them the chance to just yell out and say like, "Hey, I did my job. I did my job." Specimen, you said domain driver design. Do you mean domain driven design? And I'm generally in favor of domain driven design. I think it is a pattern that works pretty well, which should surprise no one considering that I am friends with and have worked with Steve Smith for, many, many years. And he's one of the authors of a, how to describe it? Yeah, well, so he and Julie Lerman have a course on Pluralsight, have had it forever. That is about domain-driven design, and I've read books on it and use it here and there. I think it can be a good structure for teams doing reasonably sized projects to work with. So yes, generally in favor. It wasn't in there? I really thought it would be in the main... It's gotta be in here. Oh, I bet it's in one of these, maybe. So I was thinking it was in that, but maybe it's in one of these. It's not in that one. Nope, it's not in there. Here it is. Name bidding view model has it. The question is why? What if I temporarily remove it? Yeah, I know we're currently running, and so, no, continue editing for the time being, because I need to get this one still. So we don't show the event. Okay. Rebuild and apply changes. Hey, Green Dolph, welcome. You made it. Yeah, no problem, Specimen. Also, I hope I'm saying like I remember you from before, and I always remember that is a tough name to say because it's like almost specimen, but I'm like, but I gotta like specimen. It's like I have trouble with it. The biggest challenge of live streaming anything is clearly pronouncing the names of the people who show up in chat. Definitely the hardest part. Okay, here's the question. Is it just the same hub context but with a different place, or is it just failing now somewhere else? Line 52 now, so something else needed it indirectly. So we're having some kind of problem loading that thing, and I'm not sure why. Yeah, okay, so if this has... The problem is it's anything that gets that seems to be failing, and I'm not sure what it is about it that's making it fail. It's almost like it didn't get registered. So when we registered our dependencies, it didn't get in there, is what it seems like happened. Let's run it one more time so I can get the error, because I'm going to hit the internet, because I'm wondering at this point, did they change something about... I'm wondering if this has something to do with the upgrade to .NET 6. So if you are ever running into a problem where the main change, where you've made a couple of tweaks to something, but like the biggest change is that you've upgraded a major version, go hit the internet and ask, was it a major version? Unable to resolve service type for that. And open this. .NET 6. All right. That's kind of where concept person was saying specimen wrong over and over. Like, oh, yeah, that works perfectly. Those kind of things always happen. silly names that get created for stuff. I have a just burner account that I created on Twitch because a streamer that I watch just mispronounced his own name on stream, and so I went and created the one that he made, like the one that he said. I was like, "Hey, does that exist? Hey, it does." And then I popped in chat with the name that he said. He's like, "Hey, you talking about me? What? Why are you talking about me?" So it was fun. Able to inject dependency. Yeah. That's what we're running into. Why? Yeah. Well, yes, that's what I'm doing. Oh, I should make sure that. Yeah. All right. What is this is yes, your strong type hub definition. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm using. But hang on. Let me just check and make sure there's nothing else that any other insights people have in here. Dynamic configuration. Your hub. Yeah. Okay. So you have this commented out. It's David. Hey, Fowler. It's like the Signal doesn't know anything about inject in the above configuration. I see you're wiring up MVC. Yeah. Okay. I definitely don't want to mess around with this. That's not the way that I want to do it. Now, what's weird is we had this code working before, so I'm not sure what we changed that broke it. But Fowler is correct. I should definitely see if we are, using Signalar, which looks like this. Add Signalar. So there's a great convention that was put into the I'll say .NET Core stuff, but it's really ASP.NET Core. I really am a big fan of one thing that they did in setting up the dependency injection, the IOC registration of services, and I really like the convention that they did in basically the startup, where they have this concept of like add such and such as being like the way that just says, hey, I've got a whole set of stuff that is configured, and that convention is basically just an extension method on top of services that any additional package can use. So when I create something that needs to get registered that way, I create an extension method on the service collection that just says, hey, add, whatever it is that I want, and then it adds it all in. It's a fantastic convention because everybody can do it because it's extensions. So you don't end up with any of that weirdness. Hey, Fuel Snable, welcome. So let's have a look in here. I don't use regular expressions. Yeah, just search the whole code base for that phrase, please. All right. Now, what's interesting here is I see this in web and I see this in overlays. Are there any other startup CS files? So it's in the core project where we run into a problem. Overlays is a separate thing technically. Now, when I think about it, you don't like it? Yes. Opinions abound. We can all reasonable people can disagree on this stuff. You don't like that we're hiding the dependencies they're supposed to be using IOC. Yes. So the reason I don't mind it is because it's pretty easy to look up what's going on in there. And I do like the, just click to go to look at the methods kind of thing. Yeah, so that's the problem, is if you're using it to hide stuff like that, then you run into an issue. So you shouldn't do like an add my dependencies and then hide away SwaggerGen, Signalar, and controllers, for example, right? Like these should just be listed. It doesn't matter if you listed 10, because then that tells everybody, hey, I've got these 10 things I depend on. But it's a lot nicer to do add controllers than to put the logic in there for like scanning for controllers in the system directly in here. You need to put it in a method somewhere. So I like that there is a convention, but yeah. Don't let it hide your stuff. One of the important bits here is that abstraction is nice for keeping your mind focused on what the steps are that are going on in this level, but you should be careful not to hide things that are at your level. So the idea is, if we're at the level of thinking, what are the dependencies of this project, we should see those. And when we're at the level of what are the dependencies, we don't need to necessarily see how they get added, which is the big difference there. So for how we scanned for controllers is not relevant at the context of configure services. How it scanned for SignalR stuff is not important at this level, but which things we added is important at this level. And so that is when developers need to start thinking like, what should be here? Am I, like, think about levels of abstraction. So that's kind of the idea. Hey, Scott, welcome. Well, I'm not everywhere. I've been in this room, Scott. So you keep seeing me everywhere. I'm glad. But yeah, feel free to reach out. Okay. Also important to see what you depend on to realize when a class is doing too much. Yes. So one of the big things. So Specimen hit on one of the huge concepts. So given time, there is a thing that happens to pretty much all code that you work with, and that is classes, objects, whatever you want to call them, get larger, they get more dependencies, they grab more stuff. So as you keep building, they get more stuff. And that is why a bunch of people, you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, you gotta like plan it out and architect it and things like that. It's like, I mean, you can technically, but what I find tends to be the better approach is build stuff, refactor, build stuff, refactor. When you start noticing things are getting unwieldy, there are too many dependencies, there's too many things in the constructor, like that last one we were just looking at, that has too many things in the constructor. I'm not going to mess with it right now, but it does need a refactor. It probably would have gotten a refactor a long time ago, except that we, kind of set this project on hold for, 2 years. Yeah. Let's see. You would like it a lot more if the framework blocked that kind of recursive add. Yeah, exactly. But the problem is it's tough to block that kind of thing because they didn't put it in as like an enforced structure. It's put in more as like a convention for people to follow. So that's about all you can get. Hey, Pudding, welcome. I'm glad you remember my face. Hang on. I've been asked to hydrate again. Very important thing, hydrating. And greetings, who dares? Welcome. And hey, that's basically how I started my stream. Now I've hydrated 3 times. I don't have all that many redeem things in there because I haven't rewired everything up. Oh, posture check. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So we're adding SignalR here. Now, here's the question. I looked at the places where we have this, and the couple of spots are in the startup of an overlays class. So it looks like what I was trying to break out was like a separate web project for the overlays. And I don't know why. This is stuff that past Brendan did like a year and a half, 2 years ago or something like that. And well, past Brendan was a great guy. I like him a lot, but he's not me. And I say that because I have no idea what past Brendan was doing. You ever been there? Yeah. I have no idea. But for some reason I was thinking, all right, let's break some stuff out. Now, the reason I was thinking about breaking stuff out is because, hang on. Yeah. Automod wanted me to check that, Fuel Snable. That is... Sure. Anyway, yeah, so the silly thing is that I guess probably what I was thinking is like different overlays for stuff. I definitely get separating out the overlay from anything else, but I don't know why I was breaking out a separate Final Fantasy VII overlay from everything else. I don't know. Because I feel like the main web app is the overlays, so I'm not sure what I was thinking. Don't know. Now, I definitely do need to break out some concepts because I don't want to build like one giant thing that just contains all of the games. Because we're talking about supporting 3 different games, they would have different different features, different commands, other things like that. So I do kind of want to keep that a little bit separate. And even like the scanning of the game, I kind of want to get like one runner going. Now, the runner could be separate, but like what it does, that you'd want to break apart. And fuel stable, yes, you're right. Um, you were getting of why the exe kept disconnecting. Oh yeah, that could be Who Dares. That could be. Um, blame it on whoever the guest was at the time. Yes, clearly it was the guest's fault. It's always the guest's fault. No, it's not usually the guest's fault. We just do silly things, and I get some people that comment. It's like we've had people in the past comment on the stream. They're like, "Oh yeah, you didn't get much done." It's like, no, I didn't. I talked. We're here to talk. We're having fun. if we get code written while we're here, that's awesome. If we chat the whole time, that's fine. Fuel Stable's right. Yeah, it's not the guest's fault or my fault. It's the chat. Chat. Yeah, exactly. Chat was talking to me, and I was talking back. What are we doing? Yeah. Oh. Yep. Yeah, it was like one of these. It was like left and right. Yeah, it was one of these. Yeah, you get that going. You know, chats of it's fun. We are not the chat you wanted, but the chat. Yeah, exactly. No, I love our chat. That's why we're here. We're all having fun. Okay, so here's the question. So that stuff all runs, but does this have a startup? What wires this up? Because no, because the whole project was cobbled together on stream. First off, thank you for the 7 biddies, Who Dares, and then over time we just kind of shifted it on stream. Wonder why you don't have a bits badge. Who Dares, you can actually you edit your appearance in chat to get badges for stuff. So if you want to adjust the way you appear in chat, that's a little thing down in the chat section. Can I bring this on stream? Yeah, sure, we'll bring this on stream and show everybody how you do that. So yeah, when you bring one of these on, you just kind of get on here and it's like chat identity, and then you can like customize your appearance in the chat and pick your thingies and stuff. So they got little settings for it. Yeah, see? Then you can pick that one. So some people, for example, don't like having any of the random stuff, or if a streamer is ever worried because people show up in chat and there are two, like, it's kind of concerning for new users when you show up to a chat room and like everybody's got like 3 badges showing on their name, and it's a little scary to chime in because you can tell that everybody is like a significant, prominent, important regular that is talking, and so that's a little bit intimidating to new users. So sometimes what you can do, so I know some streamers have like been like, oh, I need to like remove mods because it's scaring people away, and I said there's like, if you trust the mod, leave them as a mod. Just ask them to change their identity so they're not knocked over 3 things. They can choose not to show some of their badges and, like tone it down. So instead of saying like, yeah, step down from being a mod, just, no, just only have the sword in here, just remove the other icons. Makes you a little bit less threatening. Okay, so here I think is the challenge. So this is doing some of the startup. Now here's the services. Add the app view model and stuff, configure services, dependency register to configure services. Is this it? But I bet it doesn't add Signal R. I'm going to try that just in case. Yeah, so I think you can get both, Who Dares, the Prime badge and the Bits badge, but maybe I'm wrong. You might be able to customize to some extra ones. Let me see if this just fixes it. Because I think what we changed is that either we're just not running the startup and had been running it before, or because of the restructure, we're not running it for this part of the project and are somewhere else, but this is where we need it. Oh, we're in here. We're in here. I think it might be working. No, something else crashed. Yeah, see, it doesn't have these dependencies. Okay, so we know the problem. And the problem is that our dependency registration from the web app isn't running, I think, is what's going on here. So whatever happens in startup isn't happening here. So let's go open up the web startup. Not, we could do the overlay startup probably, but I don't know what the difference is. So let's open up the web projects startup CS. Does that still get run in program? Oh, no, right. We don't even do program anymore, do we? Does this not run this? What's the point of this startup then? This method, yeah, this is a standard thing. Continues to add controllers, add MVC, add signaler. What did the other one do? Hang on. Controllers, signaler. This one doesn't add MVC, but it adds swagger? I had an API on this? I don't know what the API is. Okay. But I think maybe we're missing one of the. Let me run it again and see which thing errored, because my brain has forgotten it already. But let's have a look at what it is. I settings window. Okay, so this. Well, that's weird because this is one of the regular like windows. It's the one of the XAML views that we've got in here. I think that it's not loading. Line 66 of the runner is where it's right here. So get main window. It can't find the I settings window to be able to open up main window. That seems to me like it's just a what? Why aren't you? You want that one? I was like, why didn't it go? I was like, oh, it's got two because partials. Because yeah, you're wondering about net 5. Sorry. It's okay, not bothered either way. Just unusual for me to not see a bits badge in a channel I like. Always use less of a badge than yeah, exactly. So this, I think this has been updated to net 6. Let me check real fast. Yeah, net 6. But I think it was net 5 and it was actually net core originally. So I think it has gone through like a couple of like upgrades. And so, yeah. So this one's net 6, because we did recently do the update. For now, we're not talking about switching this to Maui because the answer for running this as an executable that can just be distributed to someone. So with this, I can just send them the files and they can run it. If we go Maui, they don't have a good sideload version. Exactly. And yes, Grumpy Game Dev is correct. You want to be on net 6 and not 5 because 5 is already out of support and net 6 is long-term support. So we did need to do the upgrade. It very well could be that startup disappeared at this point, but I just let them compile, learn, and leave a bug or two. Yeah, exactly. No, so with .NET 6, they stopped having startup be a normal part of the structure, which I find is a bummer because while I'm not a huge fan of like massive amounts of requirements and things like that, what I liked about it was that it gave a sort of structure that you could expect to find in an ASP.NET Core app. So if you open up an ASP.NET Core app, you can always just go to the startup to figure out a lot of what's going on, and that can be like the piece that directs you where you're going. Whereas now you technically still do that, but you go into the program CS and find what it called for that. But I really always like the consistency that hey, you want to know what the dependencies are, the stuff like that, what goes into the configuration of this application, you go to startup. Now, I guess their thinking is that, yeah, if you go to program, you can do the same thing now, and that's fine, I guess. I just liked that it, kind of, implied a structure that you could or could not follow. So, for example, I guess the challenge is that you didn't have to use it to begin with, because you could do that all separately from the startup. You didn't have to use it even in .NET 5 and earlier. Yeah, it's tough. I can see the case. Huh? That's interesting. So I see that there. That's not referenced anywhere. It is part of main window, so if we're creating a main window that way, then this should be here. Now, did this get, like, registered with its time? No, it didn't. So, was this just not in these, then? I'm confused. It's like the views didn't get registered or something like that. Yeah. So to be honest, we should probably call services.addSignalR here, not where I called it. So it shouldn't, yeah, continue editing for now. It shouldn't really be here. But then the other thing, yeah, continue editing, thanks. It's gonna keep asking me that. Then the other thing that I need to do is say services dot, because we need to add the views. So, sorry, I see a bunch of stuff in chat. I'll catch up with that in a sec. Add WFPF views. Yeah, we'll do that for now. This is not a local, guys. This is an extension method. Come on. Private, static, void, add WPF views. Not exactly perfect, but why not? And then it's a this, that. Continue editing. All right. Services dot. I don't know what lifetime to add for this. Is a window a singleton? Like, does it ever go away? Does it die when it's gone? I think they just last. I settings window. Oh, I guess they're WPF windows. I named that incorrectly. That is my bad. And then it is a settings window. Hang on, chat. Hang on. What was the other one? Accent style window. I think I can wire these up automatically instead of doing this, but let me see if that just resolves the issue. Okay, the other day you had to start a new project, and the boilerplate was without a main function thing. Oh, I hate that. I kind of wish they didn't do that. And setting up the services was just munged into it. Naturally, I expected a method for that stuff, because taking a group of things that the code is doing and giving it a name is a good thing. Yes! Exactly! Like, named functions are good! Like, the you don't need to have things in a function, you can just put it in the file is, like, okay. I'm okay with that for, like, creating a demo. You're learning, like a brand new programmer wants to learn how C# works. Yeah, you don't need to think, but why? Oh, why would you ever do that for, like, your production code? I don't know. maybe I'm the crazy one here. I don't know. You're just making sure you're still calling startup somewhere, since you mentioned the startup not being called. Yeah. So I think you're right, but it looked like what had happened was maybe I had tried to extract it out. So while we're still in the figure out what's going on phase, I want to try this to see if I can just, put in enough pieces to get it working, and then figure out what it was I was doing. Yes, exactly. Yes, the Windows Presentation Foundation Windows. Well, this will confuse no one. Alright, I clicked the button again. We'll see if it crashes. Oh. It didn't crash. We're technically not broken for the moment. Well, it might still be broken, but what we're doing right now is not technically broken. Give me 1 second. I got to click a button. Boop. All right, so that hopefully refreshed everything on this page. Whoops. You know, I forgot to run something. Did I get it? Hey, I got it. Okay, cool. Hang on, we gotta try a thing. Oh, did it run my ads at some point? It might have. Yeah, it ran ads at some point, and I just totally talked right over it. It didn't crash. Ship it. Yep, exactly. Hang on. I need to do it one more time. Refresh. All right, that should have refreshed the screen. So let me try orange. Yellow. Hey, hey! All right, so these are working, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I did get these working again. So whoops, lime, I can type. So you do get control over the colors on my stream again. And then the other one is rainbow working, is rainbow working, is rainbow working. No! Rainbow didn't work. Why didn't rainbow work? So working in the game? Nope, not working in the game either. Auto deploy, yeah. Yeah, if it doesn't crash on startup, that's when you deploy. It's perfect. Everything works. Ship it. Didn't crash. You tried the top level statements, but you run into so many weird. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Fuel Snail. Every time I create a project that doesn't have a main method, I have to go back and I have to be like, all right, let me throw out the project and create it again and tell it to not use top level statements. I'm like, why is that the default? Why? And I have not yet figured out how to get it to default me to not use top level statements. I don't want them. I don't want it. That's not what I want. All right. So it says we're connected. But I don't believe it right now because my overlay is not changing. It looks like we have data. Okay, so it knows I've got Gil. Haven't experienced multiplier of 0. Yeah, so who dares? We actually there is a concept that was being worked on in this code called moods, and essentially what that is it's one of the features that we planned since the beginning, but never got around to building because we were building all the other basics first. But the plan was to change the mood of the game. So basically, you'd get something on the overlay that would basically say like, it's the peaceful mood right now, and you don't run into any combats, or danger mood is there and you run into combats all the time. And then there's a mood where you don't get items, you don't get XP, like there's good moods, there's bad moods, and basically chat is essentially bidding to determine what the next mood is going to be. So that's a feature that is starting to be built in this branch of the code, but does not exist yet. So yes, you don't get any XP. That is one of the moods. Is there's no rewards for any of your combat. And I think maybe we were talking about making it so you can't escape. So like you have to go into combat and you get nothing for it. So you gotta go in, you gotta fight, and there's no reward. So there's some other stuff that's just like we have come up with some evil things. Yes, the moods have, some of them do have names, and you're right. We definitely need good names. Here, let me show you. What are the moods? Do I have any? Are they? I think they're in here. I think they're in this. Whoops. Mood. Yeah, here we go. What do we got? So these are the ones that currently exist. Loose change. I don't remember what that does. I don't remember what that one does. So Danger mood, I think, cranks up the... Hang on, let's see. What's it do? If... So when a battle is active, what do we do? We're remove... Okay, hang on, hang on. Looks like we're removing haste from all of the... Okay, so in case if you have haste, it's removed, and we add slow. So in danger mode, we make you automatically slowed, and I thought we changed something else too. Here's the nothing mood. Ah, yes, yes, here it is. Nothing. You get no, but it's up to chat. Chat's picking which one they get, so chat can be nice because we're gonna have positive moods too. So chat can do good stuff. They don't have to be super mean. This one, you don't get any AP, you get no XP, you get no gil, and boom, the items are also nuked. So you get no items, no XP, no gil, no AP, nothing. Like any of the rewards for combat are just gone. We just chuck them out the window. It's super evil. You get nothing. Normal mood is back to just the regular spot. The peaceful one, I think, is like you see, yes, it looks like you start off with barrier and M barrier, so it basically like throw up your defenses. It's like, yeah, you don't get hurt. And then I thought, now maybe I don't have it yet. I was experimenting with the odds of a combat starting. So I know I have tested it before, and I can make it so that like every 3 steps you get in combat, like just guaranteed. And I also can make it so you don't get in any encounters. So, all encounters and no encounters. I think the plan with Danger and Peaceful was to increase and decrease the number of encounters as well. And Loose Change, I think you just drop Gil all the time? If I'm remembering correctly? Oh, yeah, yeah, totally is. It's just there's just a version hard-coded in there. I want to make it like actually... based on some kind of mathematical equation, the amount that you lose. For now, it's just hard coded, and like if you have tons of gil, you're dropping tons of gil, and as it goes down, so it's basically just you're slowly just dropping gil all the time. So just like literally, there's just a loop running that's just watching. It's like, yeah, and you drop some gil here, you drop some gil there, you drop some gil here, you drop some gil there, and so players playing the game and just money is just like pouring out of your pocket. It's your loose change. Which I thought was a funny name because it's like, yeah, loose change sounds like, oh yeah, you found some loose change. No. You're providing that found loose change to anyone else that comes walking by. So those are the moods. But yeah, there are plenty of other moods. So if people have ideas for them, feel free to chime in with cool things for like what could be happening for the idea with the moods. Now I want to make it configurable once we get that going, but the thought was that would be the mood for the following 10 minutes. So like you play for a little while with that mood running. Okay, so would like at least items that you don't get items. Can you remove the item command or magic itself? Yeah. So I have looked into disabling things from the combat menu. So I believe that we can remove things like item and magic and things like that, similar to what is done in the combat arena in the Gold Saucer. But it is a little bit weird. But I think we can. You give them dual drain. Yeah, that would be really evil. Who dares? And yes, give them haste so their health just like pours out. Yes, yeah. I can tell you that people that run Interactive 7 in their streams, their chats frequently do know that things like, oh yeah, you any of those timed status effects where like there's a timer above your head, the slow is like slow death, slow petrify, those ones. blanking on the names. But if you've got those, if you get hasted, the effect just comes on faster. So like haste is a positive, right? Nope, nope. Haste is most definitely a negative when you got one of those active. Um, yes, the chat has decided every round that you don't get XP would be a brutal run if they just keep this active. So the recommendation, I think the way it's set up is chat has to contribute above a certain number. So like every 10 minutes, the normal mood is set at the bidding for some amount. So chat basically has to get it above a certain point. Yeah. So we're going to make these configurable so you can set the starting amount for each of these is going to be the idea. So if you want to make it hard for nothing to win, you just start it at a lower number. So normal gets whatever the normal bid is. So if you want to say, look, if you want to make me get nothing, you got to at least contribute, like, a couple of dollars or something like that. One of the main points of this, if for anyone that doesn't know, is part of the reason why we build these tools is to promote a community of games that I really enjoy. So I love Final Fantasy VII. It's a great game. I like watching streamers play it. And I also happen to know that most streamers, especially the ones that do, small stuff, like, FF7 is not exactly a popular game these days. I want to make sure that they can actually, have some fun with their users and still make a little bit of money. So if we can give their users a way of, supporting them through fun stuff, then yeah, let's, build that. And that's what this does. Last time you ran i7, you had positive status effects costing heaps. Yeah. And negative effects for little peanuts. Yeah. So you can configure, it depends on the chat. If you have a chat that's really mean, find the balance. But the real key is making sure that you get to a point where the nice people and the mean people in your chat kind of balance out, so there's, a chance of things going either way. All right. Oh, and you may have I don't know if everybody noticed, but if you look up at the top, one of the features that came out in Visual Studio recently, which you'd know about if you watched my YouTube channel, is they added multiple rows of tabs. I'm a big fan of that because frequently we get tabs taking up more than one row. You'll notice that will probably happen to you all the time, and you go, "Oh, I get too many." It's like you can still close them, but they're not like hidden. It used to be you'd get the little page arrow basically to like shift to the side to see the ones that had been scrolled off the screen, and that's just awful. Okay, so we added those, and then that should work, but the commands aren't running. So where's the bot commands? Let's open up the chat bot because I want to see where the chat messages come in on message received, on chat command received. So I want to go to each of these. So that's on message received, and then where is on chat command received? We're going to go into the command error as well. Okay. Let's run this. We're going to find out what's going on with these. Because I want to see, essentially, like, why our commands weren't working. I wonder why we have errors down here. That's concerning. Alright. The bot should connect now. Bot is connected. And then I type in rainbow. So, chat message received. Yeah. Hang on. It didn't find one. My command text was rainbow, which means my commands list is it must be empty or not include rainbow. Is rainbow just turned off? Rainbow might be turned off. Hang on. Let me take a look. Maybe that's all that's going on. Maybe we just have the wrong settings. It was working last stream, but I think this is a different branch. So something might have changed, but let's have a look. Rainbow was definitely working last stream. Yeah, let's open up Final Fantasy. Yeah, see, it's not running. The settings window doesn't open either right now. Okay. Why isn't the settings window opening? Let's find out. A 1, a 2, a 3. A 3. Alright, there we go. Is settings window null? It is not. Which means we call settings window.activate. And that did not activate the settings window. What is this? When we close it, we set it to no. I remember this code, but I don't remember how it works. Hey, thanks for following, Osprey. Welcome to the stream. You should go on PC. Getting old, need glasses, can't read on mobile. Yeah, that is one of the challenges. Most live coding streams are like, we're expecting you to be on a PC or a laptop or maybe a tablet. Hang on a sec. So there's the settings window. Now, what do we got? We open this up and come on. There we go. Okay. Is visible. False. Does it have an owner set? Null. Ah, okay. Owner equals this. When you close it, the settings window gets set to null. I am super confused by this. I think it's supposed to be null the first time you click the button. And then when they're supposed to create it as part of this. I'm so confused. Were we creating it down here before? I need to look at the old code. I need to look at the old code. Alright, hang on. Let me go take a look at the old code. Because I don't remember what it was supposed to be. Interactive 7. I cannot remember if we made the commands all the way async. I think when we started this project, you couldn't have an async main. And so because of that, we tried. I remember, I think we had things as async, and then like way at the top we ended up resolving them, and then they released an update to .NET that allowed main to be async, and I think we were planning on taking async all the way up to the top, but I don't remember if we did or not. I remembering there also being some weirdness with WPF because so there's something weird about WPF. That might have caused us a problem with that as well, because when they did that for program, I think maybe we couldn't get async in like some of the things that come off of the back end of the window in a WPF app. There was something like that. I don't remember for certain though. What am I looking at? I am in the UI application, so we are in here, and this is main window. Main Windows MLCS. Were these ever set? Got it. They were created at this point in here. They were not passed in. That's why this breaks. This is not how they were created. This is not how it was done before. It used to be that they were null, and it was set literally here. But we don't have access to it at this point because it's not really here. So instead, we should check something else. Maybe say if it's not active, then activate it. Otherwise, come down here and set the values like that and then show it. Let's try this. I don't know if this is going to work. You found a project called Open Silver, which is an implementation of Silverlight on WebAssembly. Nice, Fuel Snable. I love that people did that. You gotta love the people. The people are great. Okay, opening this. Settings. What happened? Whoops. Forgot to do that. Settings. Does it think it's active? If it's not active, activate. You know what? Come down here. Do this instead. Skip that code. Come down here. Okay, so if we run this, it opens. All right, so you know what? We're going to ignore this for now. That goes away. This goes away. We'll have to see if they can reopen once they've been opened going this route, but I'm commenting that out for now because what that used to be is they got created in these methods back in the old version, and that was like the, oh, if you've already created it, don't create it again because it already exists. You just need to tell it to activate again. Yeah. So here we go. So this is going to run, and then this comes up. And then let me check and see. Do we have the rainbow mode? Enable rainbow mode. It's in here. Okay. So what that tells me is that we have it, but for some reason the command is not in there. But the settings came up. Does app theme come up? Okay, app theme comes up. We remove this. Does that come up just fine? Settings window was null. Because we set it to do that on close. I forgot about that. That's this line here. What happens? Can it close if we remove this? Let's remove the closed feature. I hope the window still closes. And I apologize. I didn't bother dragging it onto the screen. But I will drag it onto the screen so everybody can see what we're doing. Alright, so we click on this. It comes up. I close it. I click on this again. And crash! It cannot call set after a window has closed. Alright, let's see if we can detect that it closed. Is closed? It's not a dialogue. I need to see which things are even available at this point. I'm going to say is loaded for now, and we're going to check all those properties. Let's see which properties are on there. We're going to click the button, have a look at all the properties, and see which one indicates, you know, that it hasn't started the first time, because there's got to be something better than this. Now, alternately, what we could do is add an additional property, hang on to it as the model, and then just put it in there when it's done. But then we got to figure out how to I think reactivating it is just by calling activate again. So it's saying it's not loaded, but that's fine. Which things are disabled is the question. So if we expand this down, take a look at some of the values here in our autos. I really like the autos window. It's basically the watch window, but they automatically fill a handful of the values in. Is it one of the initialized? There's got to be a bunch of is's. Here they are. Okay, is active, false. Is close button enabled? With okay, it is enabled. So it could be not enabled. It is initialized. It's not loaded. Okay. Let's come down here, and we'll let this continue. Now we got to figure out what would let it in here again. So I close it. So we want it to run that normally. And then when I click this again, what state has changed? It's saying it's not active. But it was already not active. So that doesn't help me. How do I tell if it's closed? It still says it's enabled. Is range valid changed? Is measure valid? Is measure changed? Well, now I think it'll reload it, right? If I let this go. Let's see if it does it. No, it looks like it's failing. Activate didn't work. Yeah, I don't, the problem is it was not visible before, so it's like, what is the difference? Like, how do I detect that it had been opened and is now closed? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. But I really should just ask the internet for this one. So we're going to say... WPF child window life cycle. How are we supposed to do that? I don't do WPF. I don't build a lot of WPF apps. Mostly do web. Lifetime events for... Yeah. Hang on. This doesn't look like what I want. Yeah, main window and child window management. Oh yeah, nothing like 10-year-old articles. These will be accurate and good. All right, so what is this? For each window object, grab the splated namespace and get a class from the collection. If class name is that, Windows state equals normal. Oh, that's actually a good idea. I bet Windows state is what has marked it as closed. I bet it's Windows state. I want to... Yeah, here we go. This is a recent article. All right, let me write this in here just so I don't forget. But setting up window state. Okay, we're gonna hang on to that for now. Oh, that's great. This is a perfect question. Someone asked the question. Isn't that nothing? Yeah. Thanks, Google. Synchronized? Dragging resize. Oh, no, we don't really want that. But interesting. Okay, let's check this now. If the Windows state equals Windows state dot no, No. That's just got maximized, minimized, and normal. It's not the one I was looking for. That closes the window. Closed. Occurs when the window is about to close. You know what? Oh, we could, but hang on. We're gonna hack this real fast. Hacking it in. We're gonna hack this in for a second, just to see if this works at all. Settings has closed. Style has closed. Okay. If settings is closed, call activate. Otherwise that. Okay. Now how do we tell that it's closed? We go in here, and on closed, we say true. And then we do the same thing on this one. We're going to see if this works. Style has closed. And then we're going to say style has closed equals true. What if we just do that? Will this make it work? This make it work? Come on, code. Quit fighting me here. Just do the thing. Alright, now we run this. Bring it over here. We click the settings. It brings it up. We close it. We click it. Whoops. Get out of the way thing. Click this again, and nothing happens. Yeah, nothing happens, just like we expect. Why does it not like this? Didn't we mark this as closed? True. Is it calling activate doesn't activate it, huh? Thought activate would activate it. Maybe it says it's closed? Alright. We're gonna ask the internet again. Opening and closing child window WPF. That's that recent question again. It didn't get an answer. No, I don't want to do that. I want to no. Child windows in WPF. Come on. Child window control? Someone made a child window control? Why? Is that a window like inside a window, not over top of a window? Is that what I'm seeing? It's not what I want. WPF open another yeah, WPF open another window. Window, new window, show. Yeah, but I'm gonna flip the table here in a minute. We might be stuck back with the create the new window thing. Or having to trigger something, because I don't want the window to know about the other window. I don't know how I do that without it. Well, why doesn't it know about it? Where did I put it that it wouldn't know about it? I'm now confused. I need to look at our code. Did something move? Because why can't I just create a new settings window right here? Why can't I just do that? Shared UI. Interesting. Why is this in here? What is this? Why are these here instead of back in there, huh? Do I need to put them back? I'm gonna put them back. Wait, where's main window then? Oh, it's in the Final Fantasy VII one. Oh, you know what? In that case, these can live up there. There is not going to be any shared UI. They're separate. Getting separated. This is what we're doing. We're sticking with it. We're not gonna stand for this. This is what's happening. Interactive games, Core 7, yeah. No, I do not need a designer. There we go. Get out of here, designer thingy. And then accent window. Again, open this stupid designer. There we go. And then this. Gets that. Alright. So now inside of the main, we are no longer going to pass this thing in. We're just going to new one of these up and not worry about it. I don't think they have any dependencies on anything. So they're just getting created new right in here. We're just going to say if settings window equals null, call activate. If it's not equal to null, that's what we're saying. Call activate. And this is a new settings where there's no argument. This needs the view model. You know, I looked at this in the beginning. Did it not have the view model? It did this. Because it does apparently have that. Okay, and then this. I apparently renamed this. But that's fine. Name was probably a little bit complicated. So there we go. We don't need these silly things that we tried. I wanted to try that just because it might tell us, like, is there a problem here? Now that view model had their view models in it, so that's actually convenient. So we have that already. Okay, so these are not supposed to do this. These are supposed to those null these out. Because when the window closes, we're creating a new instance of the window. Is the way that we were doing it before. So we should be back to the way we were before. And we're going to try this. Fingers crossed. This better work. Or I am not going to be a happy camper here. Settings window cannot be found. That's fine. Where is this? Add singleton. Add shared windows. Yeah. Inside of shared UI. This whole thing is going away. It's been nuked. Bye-bye, shared UI. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. It was nice having you here. You know, I think maybe we found part of the problem. Maybe that was supposed to get wired up somewhere. I don't know whether or not that was needed, but we're about to find out. Something referenced shared UI. Right there. Goodbye. That was an auto-generated file, but I'm still just nuking it like that, because... Hey, it's shared UI again. Where was this one? Error list, you can stay up. You know what? This can go away. Error list, you can stay up for a minute. Alright, that's auto-generated. Is that the same one as before? That better not be the same one. Alright, so this was add shared windows. I don't think... We're now never loading the windows by that mechanism. So we've gotten rid of that. I think one of these projects probably had a project dependence on it. So we should be able to remove that. Are you missing it? Yeah. So settings window keeps breaking because it wants to do that. Where's the dependency registrar? It's right here in Core Interactive 7. Where's the project reference to it? Did it get rid of those? Alright, where does shared UI show up? Alright, XML namespace shared UI. This no longer exists. Shared UI, that shouldn't be anywhere. Oh, okay, hang on. I see the problem. Okay, design window, can you just go away, please? So we had this as shared UI, but I think it goes here now. And instead of shared UI in here, in this document, it should be called 7. Whoops. Shared UI should get replaced as 7. 2 occurrences replaced. Good job. Now, hopefully this rebuilds. So inside, for anybody that doesn't know XAML very well, you basically define the like tag groups that you want to use. You're creating these essentially XML namespaces. And so when you see a tag down here, that's an XML namespace. And then down here, we should have one for our 7 somewhere, wherever we're using it. And it's used because like we were like binding to a command on the object, I think, is why that one was there. I don't remember exactly, but that is very likely why that one was in there. Let's go ahead and run the code and see what we get. So I'm going to open up the Final Fantasy VII window. Here it is. So that opens this window. Once I've got it open, the other one actually closes, which is nice. That feature's still working. I should be able to open settings. It opens it. I close that. I should be able to open it again, and it does. Perfect. Okay, same thing works for themes. It opens. I close it. It opens. Can I change? Yeah. All right. These colors are fine. You gotta love the way that works. It's just like, yeah, here, have some new things. Okay, so yay, application working again. So we're gonna call this fixing these windows. So this is whoops. Remove shared UI. Yeah, that's the removal of those there, the change in that, the... Okay. All changes committed. Let's take a look. So... now that we've got that, we need to figure out why... so what ended up happening, the reason Rainbow and Mako didn't work, or Mako and Rainbow, depending on how you want to say it, is their commands didn't get registered. So let's open those. Rainbow command should have been registered somewhere. Register Twitch commands. This should have happened. This doesn't get called. this called? Where did this get called? Add the FF7 register, FF7 runner. Add FF7 registry. Add the FF7 register view models. We didn't register commands. We're just not calling it. Is that literally all we were missing? If so, that's a perfectly fine reason for Rainbow not to be running. It just caught us a little bit because Gil is the money regardless. It's not specific to Final Fantasy VII. It is the app. So, yeah, there's the Rainbow command getting called. So it's getting registered now. So I guess that means all the commands weren't working except for... nothing like this has ever happened to me before. No, I've never been... Yeah. So one of the first comments that I got from someone that was watching my stream, back when I started streaming, early 2018, one of the early comments I got was from someone that has known me for years and has like attended my user groups and things like that, and struggles a lot with imposter syndrome. And the funny thing was, he was like, I don't know if this is a compliment or not, but I love that you make mistakes on your stream because I've always looked up to you. And it's like, I was like, why? I'll take it as a compliment, but it was just kind of funny because he was just remarking that it's like, because too many things, it's like, you see it and it's just like, they seem perfect. It's like, yeah, they seem perfect because that's an edited video. Like, they edit out their mistakes or they practice. Like, someone gives a presentation, it's like, yeah, they practiced the demo. Like, they did this. They set it up in advance. They figured out what they were going to say. Or it's recorded. Or in an article, you don't, it's like, no. We all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. It happens. All right, let's try Rainbow. Yes! Fixed. We got it. All right, hang on. Let me refresh this. Did it refresh? Did you refresh? You didn't refresh. Why didn't you refresh? Okay, let me try that again. Where is the it's not the color switcher overlay. i7 menu background. Refresh when it becomes active. Why wasn't that turned on? Still didn't do it. Refresh browser when scene becomes active. Yeah. Refresh the cache of the current page. It says it isn't there. Are the overlays not turned on? Hang on. Maybe the overlay's not running. The overlay might be broken. No, Brendan, what did you do? Why did you turn it off? Now we don't have anything. Still the same spot? Yeah. Okay. Alright, let's have a look. We're gonna find out what's going on. Found out why it didn't work. We're getting a 404 on the menu overlay. Okay, so next thing to fix is, what did Brendan break in the back of this thing? That's in the web. Did the web ever start? That's the question. Did we spin this up or did we not spin this up? Toss a breakpoint here. This we don't do anything with. Here's our API. Oh, we have a home controller? What's it do? Okay. Let's try debugging and see what happens. I don't actually know what it's going to do. Okay, so here it is. This should not require being connected to chat for the overlays to start working, so these overlays should already work. like right now. It's not there. And we didn't hit I didn't see us hit a breakpoint. So we didn't spin up our app. Why? Because this doesn't start it up anymore. For one thing. Are there any contents of this? Hang on. That's not actually a thing, is it? That's like a missing folder. Why it was like warning me like I wouldn't want to get rid of it, but it's not there. So goodbye, non-existent folder. You don't have anything in you, so I don't need you. Okay, so we have the game select window here that when you select the game, it just spins up the correct one for that. And then upon doing that, it should open the overlays, but it doesn't. So I think I had been moving the overlays into here. That's a status control, but it doesn't have everything. So this one clearly does not have all of the overlays yet. When we run this, this should have the runner that gets it started, right? This should be the thing that like spins it up. There's our host. I'm not using this yet either. Ooh, man, I was apparently just straight up in the middle of this. Okay, this runs the overlays one, which is this one. Does it only have static? And then the question is, what's its root? App settings? No, you're not telling me. Yeah, it says it to run it through there, not through this. Definitely wires up. Well, it's possible it's opening on these. Let me try it. Let me run it again and see if it's popping up on another port, and that's our whole problem. If it's running this one, we can technically move the overlays over to this, but I kind of want the overlays to not matter which one it is. So past Brendan was thinking one thing, and current Brendan is thinking something else. No, I got the same thing on this one. Localhost 5000 also gives me that error. It could be on this. I got a connection problem at that address. Which makes me think the other ones are valid because the one gave me a 404, didn't it? And it wouldn't give me a 404 unless there was a site there. So this one got a connection refused, but that's a really good point because this gave me a 404, not like a connection issue, which means there is something running at this address. It's just not returning what I want it to. Status doesn't work. Is there a... If it is the overlay... What about Swagger? Can I go to Swagger? Nope. Everything 404s. Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dig into that one. I'm not sure what's going on with it. Okay, well, either way, handful of things that I want to talk to chat about. First off, I am thinking about working on a .NET API to be able to talk to the chat interface of YouTube also, so that this can run on YouTube and Twitch and get connected that way. So I thought about connecting to their API. I've looked at it a little bit, but haven't really started writing the code yet. Yeah, don't think about working on it. Just work on them. Yeah. That's a good point. Do or do not, there is no try, right, Grumpy Game Dev? Okay, well, either way, so I mentioned a couple of things. First off, if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel and you're not subscribed there, Please. Anyway, that aside, um, I wasn't kidding when I asked in my Discord. By the way, if you're not in my Discord, you should join there. I did ask in my Discord if people thought I should stream today. I actually slept through the middle of the day. I got my COVID shot yesterday, and so I had a really bad headache. And so I was like, all right, yeah, I'm just going to take a nap. So I took a nap, and then I was like, okay, when I got back to things, I was like, all right. Yeah, exactly, Fuel Snavel. I was hoping people wouldn't be able to resist a good begging. So I woke up, I was late for the stream, and I was like, should I still stream? We're going to be starting super late. And I was like, yeah. It's like, let me ask Discord. And so I asked in my Discord. If you're not in my Discord, you should join, because I do talk to people about whether or not I'm going to stream, what I'm going to stream, that sort of thing. And there's also projects and stuff like that. And there are other people that like to chat in our Discord as well. So it's an awesome community. And my YouTube channel, go check it out. There's a link down below, youtube.com/c/devchatter. And I'll link in the chat as well. If you go check out our YouTube channel, you will actually see that I've been pumping out tons of videos. Now, quality varied because I was like, it's getting better. Some of the early ones I was like, you know what, I just want to start making these. If I wait until it's going to be perfect, then I'm never going to start. And so, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Dev Chatter originally was going to be a YouTube channel. Like, that was the original plan. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do that. And then one point I was like, you know what, I want to do the YouTube channel and I want to do some streaming. So I wanted to do both. And I was like, okay, that'd work. And I was like, I'll stream on Twitch and I'll make videos on YouTube. And then I didn't end up making the videos on YouTube ever. So I pretty much just did the Twitch part because the barrier to entry was a little bit easier. And so I just did that. But now I'm actually going to do what I was originally planning on doing, which is actually having that YouTube channel make good videos. How to get good at making videos. Step 1, make bad videos. Exactly. That is correct, Grumpy Game Dev. And that's why I have been making a bunch of videos. Now, I would argue that quality was bad, but the content can still be good in some of those videos, even if I don't present it all that well. But I was working on a bunch of those. They have been quite fun. I am doing a few series of videos, and I don't have like a cadence of like when each type is coming out. But what I've been doing is I currently have it that I'm scheduling short videos coming out on Mondays, and then I'm doing other videos on, I think it's Tuesdays and Thursdays are the regular, like, you know, cut videos for the most part. And I'm subbing in some of the, like, if there's a stream recording, that is also getting shoved in there as well, somewhere in the pipeline. The series that I've been doing, I've got a series on cool stuff you didn't know VS Code could do. So I've actually got 4 videos about cool things that you didn't know VS Code could do, and I try to actually like talk about the thing instead of just say, hey, it can do this, because if there's things I can mention, then I actually want to talk about how the feature works and what you can do with it. So I made a series of those, which was fun, and then I have started on, and I've only got one video produced so far, but I want to do a series of videos on like GitHub Actions and what you can do with GitHub Actions, because I think a lot of people don't really realize all the neat stuff you can do with them. So I made like the first, you know, Hello World one where we talk and explain, you know, what we're doing along the way. And then the next one I was going to do like a full like .NET app build, you know, test and everything like that. And then I wanted to do some where it's like, oh yeah, you can actually do your full like PR review where, you know, included in that is even running like UI tests that, you know, spin up and walk through your app, you know, and click on some stuff. You know, like, again, we're going to be doing like Hello World, you know, counter to do, you know, like those kinds of things for showing what, you know, how to do it. But that's only so that we don't have to write a full suite of UI tests to show you. The concept that you run is still the same. We just don't have the full suite of tests. So as far as the action is concerned, it wouldn't matter whether it's pointed at a demo app or a full app, because the action still ends up being the same regardless of what it is. Because your build process, unless you add complexity, doesn't get more complicated just because you added more size to the application. So some of those things work pretty well still. The one that can get some people is dealing with the database. So we've got those. And then generally just other cool videos that I want to make about stuff I'm doing. So I've been doing stuff on Git, stuff on C#, stuff on .NET, stuff on HTML. I'm probably going to do some things on CSS. I want to do some videos highlighting cool extensions that people should be using in VS Code, because there are a lot of cool extensions that people aren't using that I think they should be. And well, and there are also some fun ones that you can just mess around with because people have made fun extensions. Obviously, those exist in Visual Studio as well, but I was going to focus more on the VS Code ones, since, you know, that's the way a lot of people are going. And if you're not building a WPF app, you're like, even with me, I'm usually in VS Code, not in Visual Studio. Um, so yeah, I've got a bunch of those up there, and I look forward, hopefully, to having, you know, discussions on there. If you watch one of my videos and you're thinking, hey, you should have talked about this too, please comment it down below. I would love to get more comments and other things like that in those videos, because I really do want to try and build up the community in both places, because I really do like Dev Chatter. We're an awesome community. I love all of you. Okay, that being said, it is time for me to go. I said when I was gonna do this stream that it would have to be a short one, because, well, end of the day, I gotta wrap things up, and then eventually I gotta pick up my kids. So, yeah, shocking. At some point I do. So, anyway, hopefully you all had fun today. The possibility of the stream tomorrow is high. There is also a good chance of a stream on Saturday. So, yeah, Saturday stream. Tell your friends, because we have not had a Saturday stream in a really, really long time. So yeah, thank you for hanging out today. And I regret to inform you, while we do have the XP intro, if you were here for the beginning of the stream, we do not have the fun nostalgia themed outro yet. So you're gonna be stuck with my regular one until I finish that. I've been in After Effects and I'm working on it, but I really want another fun one. If you didn't see our intro, I'm gonna run that before we do our outro just so you can see. Yeah, so I set up the intro to the stream is now like the Windows XP like loading screen, which is really fun. Either way, have a great one, everyone. I will see you hopefully tomorrow, if not Saturday, and take care. Nope. No, sir? Yeah, there we go. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.